Hi, my name is Emily Penton, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about my personal experience with bipolar disorder. It's hard to talk about mental illness in general because I was a mental health professional. And so you would think that a mental health professional should be uh, on the other end of that, not experiencing mental illness. But I was. And I think that's why I was drawn to study in that area of psychology because I was trying to figure this out. I suffered for the first 40 years of my life with bipolar disorder. And I know the difference because it was a stark contrast from literally feeling like I was two people. I would have, good days and bad days, good months and bad months, good years and bad years with the bipolar disorder. And I did everything that you're supposed to do. I went to a psychiatrist. I had talk therapy. I tried to sleep. The only thing I didn't do was eat right because nobody said that. Nobody told me that my food had anything to do with my mental illness. Food was actually my drug of choice. That was my dopamine hit for me to get that sugar rush or the carb rush that I was getting. And so I was at my most on 900 milligrams of lithium, 80 milligrams of Prozac, 80 milligrams of Adderall just to get out of bed every day. I would have 40 milligrams in the morning and then 40 milligrams at noon just to go through the motions. And then I had Ambien to sleep every night. And I still wasn't functioning. And then near the end of 2018, my bipolar turned into rapid cycling, which meant that I didn't know who I was from one day to the next. Sometimes even I would wake up and be one person, and then by noon, I would have to reschedule my whole day because I had flipped into this other person. And it's kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where I would sometimes be manic, and sometimes I would be depressed, and any combination of a mix in between. It was really a gamble who I was. And I couldn't trust myself. And I think that's what the hardest part was I would say, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And I didn't believe myself. I didn't trust myself that I would actually follow through with that. And there was this theme of self-loathing throughout my whole life that I didn't even like to be around me. I didn't even enjoy my own company. I didn't like the things that I was doing, the decisions that I was making, horrible life decisions, risky life decisions, impulsive decisions. And I couldn't even trust what I would do the next day, much less have a plan for my future. So it was really torturous. And then once it went into the rapid cycling, then I went into, all along the way, I had suicidal ideation where I didn't like myself. I didn't trust myself. And so I just assumed that this world would be better without me in it. And I was hopeless, nothing was getting better. Nothing was working. And so I am so grateful because as a last ditch effort or a whatever, I don't know, my brother told me about the carnivore diet. And that was the catalyst that I needed to break my addiction to sugar and processed foods, because there was something about those that were just keeping me captive in that cycle of the inflammation that was in my brain. And I couldn't, white knuckle it through any, diet or anything without fatty meat. That's what was keeping me satiated. I needed that satiation to be able to comply. And I was so grateful for him sending me that message, and that I heard it. I had ears to hear. And so that's why I keep talking about this. That's why I keep sharing my message, because this might be the video. This might be the one thing that you hear. You're sitting there right now on your couch or in your bed or wherever you're at, and you're thinking, I'm hopeless. I'm worthless. There is no turning around. I was 40 years old, and nothing had changed. Like, I had kept going through this repeated bipolar cycle, and then it got worse. And then all of a sudden, in an instant, well, in 30 days, 30 to 45 days of eating fatty animal meat, I was able to have a completely different experience. And thankfully, like I said, 30 to 45 days in, I started having hope and joy, and I started being able to plan out my future and trust myself. I hadn't trusted myself my whole life. I was able to trust myself, and I was able to love myself and like being around myself. And I very quickly went into kind of a waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so I was waiting for the bipolar to rear its ugly head again. And it just never did. This was 4 years ago. So I'm 44 years old now. In 2019, I was able to taper off of all of my psych meds, go back to work full time, and, really live this fulfilling life. I'm not just surviving anymore. I am thriving. I am excited about every day. And yes, there's been stuff that's happened. There's been tragedy and crisis in my family and in my life, but I navigated it. And I was just like, oh, we got this. I got this. It's all going to work out. It's just crazy how I got like literally a whole new mind. It was just like it totally transformed the way that I show up in the world, the way that I show up in life. And now I'm able to have this incredible honor and privilege to be able to navigate other people through this. At first, I thought it was just a fluke. I thought it was just me. And then I started sharing my story, and then I started coaching people one-on-one and walking them through this, and they're having the same results. So I just wanted to share with you guys my story and to give you hope that it's possible, that even if you're 40, even if you're 50, 60, 70, I had somebody reach out to me. She was 72 years old, suffered severely with bipolar disorder her whole life. She implemented the things that I was telling her, and it's resolved. And she's like, oh my gosh, I wish I had known this before, but hey, I'm enjoying it now at 72 to have a new brain, to have a new life. And so I just wanted to encourage you guys, if you want to, go to emilypenton.com. There's a spot there where it says Saturday Food Support Group. You can register to get that link for our Saturday Food Support Group. And we just talk about these things. Or I would love to work with you one-on-one. That's where the real magic happens, when we can really get into the nitty-gritty pit of mental illness hell, and I can literally show you how to walk out of that and how to transform your mind, transform your life, transform the trajectory of your path. And so go to emilypenton.com and look for the thing that says clarity call and schedule that with me. I would love to talk to you. And I can't believe how many people I've just had one clarity call with, and it's totally changed their life. They've got mental clarity back. They've, lost weight, which was a side effect for me too. I lost 120 pounds just by breaking my addiction to sugar and processed foods. And they're thriving and they're hopeful about their life and they're loving themselves. They're like, oh, I really like this version of me. I really like who I am. And I want that for you too. I want to give this gift to you. Like if I could bottle this up, I would. And this is the closest thing I've come to bottling it up, is by having the inner clarity system where I literally walk people through daily, walk people through how to adapt to this new way of thinking and feeling and experiencing the world. So anyway, so good to be able to talk to you guys. And it just means so much to me to have you guys on this journey and on this path with me. So thanks for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.